5 tips to investing as a couple. Number 1, establish a joint investment budget. The first thing you should do as a couple is to create an investment budget. Many important details must be decided. Consider the following. Can you both put money into your investments? If that's the case, how much will each of you contribute? Can you both contribute the same amount or will it vary? How frequently can you each contribute? All of these factors are critical. If you and your partner both have steady jobs that pay on time, you might be able to contribute a set amount each month. However, if you or your partner are self-employed, the amount you contribute may differ. In that case, set a minimum investment budget so that you and your partner can both invest consistently. Number 2, understand each other's investment persona. Just as it is critical to understand your own risk profile before investing individually, it is critical to understand each other's investor persona in the case of joint investments. You might be an aggressive investor while your partner is more conservative. You may believe that real estate is a good long-term investment, whereas your partner may believe that blue chip stocks are the holy grail. Before developing an investment strategy, it is critical to understand and resolve these differences, and while you're at it, a compromise isn't always the best option. Let us use an example to better understand this. Assume you are an aggressive investor who prefers to invest in direct equity, and your partner is concerned about the market's impending collapse and prefers to invest in fixed income securities. Now consider the following 2 scenarios. In scenario 1, both you and your partner are in your 20s. In this case, because you have many years before retirement, you can afford to take risks. As a result, it makes more financial sense to start with a high equity exposure and gradually transition to safer investments later in life. As a result, your investment outlook may be more important than your partner's. Scenario 2, both you and your partner are in your 50s. You only have a decade left to retire here. As a result, it is generally more prudent to rely on fixed income investments that provide guaranteed returns. This way, you can protect your capital while also establishing an additional source of income for your post-retirement life. In this case, your partner's cautious outlook is the better option. Number 3, list out your common and individual goals. You'll want to list your goals after you've established an investment budget and understand each other's investor persona. That gives you a better understanding of why you're investing in the first place. And because you are investing as a couple, you will have 2 types of goals: your joint goals as a couple and your separate individual goals. Examples of joint goals include purchasing your first home, establishing a college fund for your children, and saving for retirement. Individual goals include setting up your own home gym, purchasing a high-end camera to pursue your passion for photography, and upskilling or returning to school to improve your career prospects. As you can see, individual goals are specific to you and your needs, whereas joint goals affect both you and your partner. After you've listed all your goals, prioritize them, assign a rough timeline to each one, and write down how much money you'll need to achieve them. Consider the joint goal of establishing a college fund for your children. If you and your partner are in your late 20s and your child is only 3 years old, you have about 15 years to save for college, so consider how much top courses at prestigious universities cost today. Take into account inflation, calculate how much you will need to save for your child's college education in 15 years, and devise an investment strategy to save that amount. Number 4, consider financial products that provide multiple benefits. After determining the top goals for which you want to save and allocating a time frame and an amount to each, you must select the appropriate financial products to meet these objectives. Some financial products provide couples with joint benefits. There's joint savings accounts. You can open a joint savings bank account with your preferred banking partner as a couple. This simplifies budgeting and money management while also assisting you in better managing your general finances. There's also joint demat accounts. If you and your partner are still young enough, some equity exposure in your joint investment portfolio may benefit you. Joint demat accounts can be useful in this situation because they allow you to save money on demat account maintenance fees. It also allows you to keep your investments open and visible. There's also home loans. A joint home loan can be extremely beneficial due to significant tax benefits. So if purchasing a home is high on your list of joint milestones, consider a joint home loan if possible. Number 5, ensure that you don't lose sight of the end goals. Finally, keep in mind what you're investing in the first place. When there are 2 people involved, there are many joint goals and many more individual goals to consider, and it's easy to lose sight of why you started investing in a particular scheme in the first place. If you find it difficult to keep track of your joint and individual goals, try having separate investments for your individual goals. It will be easier to identify the goals associated with each investment this way. For example, you can have a joint savings account for common goals and a separate individual account for individual goals. Just keep the priority in mind so you don't accidentally spend all of your savings on a hobby when you still have major life goals to meet.